Do you have your partner's name tattooed on your body? Today's story starts with exactly that, a tattoo between two lovers. 7 years into our marriage, Mike and I decided to tattoo each other's names on our bodies. When it was finally over, I woke up groggy, only to find that the word tattooed across my chest wasn't Mike's name at all, but the word joke. Chloe, the tattoo artist, covered her mouth and laughed. Well, it's not wrong, is it? You depend on men anyway. I threw a glass at the floor. The next second, Mike practically sprinted over and shielded Chloe in his arms. He frowned at me. Chloe was just joking. Why are you overreacting? I stared at his bare chest. It was supposed to be tattooed with my name. Instead, it clearly said Chloe. I stared at that tattoo for a full 10 seconds. The pain in my chest felt like needles stabbing me all over again. You're saying, this is a joke? My voice was hoarse and trembling. Chloe, acting like a spoiled kitten, giggled while hiding in Mike's arms. Oh, come on. Don't be so serious. Married couples should have fun. Besides, I think Chloe looks better than your name anyway. Mike even played along, lifting his hand to ruffle her hair. Stop saying nonsense. My vision darkened for a moment. 7 years of marriage, and in his eyes, it couldn't compare to a little teasing from another woman. I walked forward step by step, my voice cold as ice. Mike, you let her tattoo something random on my body? You know the chest is one of the most painful spots, right? Mike frowned. Don't start. Chloe said you agreed while you were asleep. I thought you changed your mind. I laughed, the coldest laugh I'd ever let out in years. I wouldn't even agree to tattoo your full name on me, let alone that. Chloe pouted. Oh, relax. It's already done. You can fix it later. It's not like it's permanent. I looked at the two of them standing so close together, and suddenly I understood something. The biggest joke in this marriage was me. When did you two start? My voice was calm, terrifyingly calm. Chloe froze. Mike looked away. Stop overthinking. He walked toward me impatiently. Let it go already. If you want to fix the tattoo, I'll go with you. Can we just go home now? That tone, like he was coaxing a child throwing a tantrum. I stared at him. I asked you, when did you two start? Chloe muttered under her breath. Well, she'll find out sooner or later. Mike covered her mouth instantly. Shut up. That tiny movement stabbed into my heart. I inhaled deeply, my throat raw like sandpaper. Mike, say it again. This tattoo is a joke? He snapped. Yes, it's just a joke. You're being oversensitive, Rip. I suddenly reached out and tore off the protective film on his chest, exposing the fresh, swollen, red skin underneath. The name burned into his flesh, CHLOE. Chloe screamed. Are you crazy? That's fresh ink. Bang! I slammed a metal tray onto the counter. The sound exploded in the studio, stunning everyone. I lifted my head, gaze sharp as winter wind. Fine. Let me show you what a real joke looks like. I lunged toward the tattoo workstation. Mike rushed to stop me, thinking I was going to smash things. I shoved him aside, clean, powerful. He stumbled into the counter with a grunt. Chloe rushed to him. Mike, are you okay? I grabbed a tattoo needle still dripping with ink and pointed it at them. Not to hurt them, but for the first time, to make them afraid of me. I got joke carved into my skin. Now tell me, who's gonna clean up this little joke? Mike's face drained of color. You're insane. Put that thing down. Am I insane? I stepped forward. One of you confess, and I'll put it down. Chloe backed away, terrified. Mike, say something. Hurry. Mike's silence was the loudest answer, and suddenly, I laughed. That was the moment I truly let go. I placed the tattoo needle on the table, released it. The crisp metal sound echoed like the collapse of a relationship. Perfect. I looked straight at Mike. I'll remember this joke. When I turned to leave, Mike panicked for the first time. Where are you going? Home. I'll go with you, not with you. The door slammed shut behind me. I had never been so clear-headed in my life. I walked all the way home, forcing myself not to collapse. But the moment I opened the door, something felt off. Home suddenly didn't feel like home anymore. When I changed my shoes, I noticed a pair of shiny pink high heels by the entrance. Not mine. My stomach tightened. I walked into the living room. The place was a mess. Empty liquor bottles on the floor. A woman's jacket draped over the couch, one I had never seen before. I froze. Who had been here while I wasn't home? My breathing quickened. I rushed to the bedroom. The closet door was open, and my small red suitcase, the one where I kept my savings, documents, important personal items, was gone. Inside that suitcase were my private savings, marriage certificate, property documents, spare car, key, bank information, and the necklace my late mother left me. I felt like lightning struck through my body. He took my things? No, they took my things. Suddenly Chloe's voice from earlier echoed in my mind. She'll find out sooner or later. Of course they weren't scared of being caught. They were already prepared. I forced myself to calm down and retrace the signs around the house. The bed sheets had been changed, but the pillowcases were inside out. The bathroom floor was still wet, but my towel wasn't used. And in the kitchen trash can, under a pile of tissues, was a delivery receipt addressed to Chloe. My breath stopped. He didn't just bring her here. He let her sleep in my bed, use my bathroom, and enjoy the home I paid the bills for. A sharp pain shot through my chest, right where that tattoo burned. I pressed my hand against it like I could claw the word out of my skin. Then something on the dining table caught my eye. A carelessly tossed piece of paper. I picked it up. It was Mike's handwriting. Chloe's overnight bag is here temporarily. She won't be staying often. Don't overthink. I let out a laugh. Hollow, sharp, painful. So this is what a hollowed-out heart feels like. It can't even cry. I looked around the house again. The place had been rummaged through far too carelessly. Not like someone guilty, but like someone who didn't care if I found out. Then I remembered something. Years ago, Mike and I installed a small indoor camera to check on our cat. After the cat was rehomed, the camera stayed on the shelf. Forgotten. I looked up. The little white camera was still there, but it had been turned to face the wall. Someone had touched it. My stomach dropped. I walked over, turned it back, and saw the red light flicker on. Still working. I opened the app on my phone and checked the most recent playback. The screen lit up, the day after I left home. The door opened. Mike and Chloe stumbled inside, laughing like mischievous kids sneaking candy. Chloe threw herself onto the couch. Oh my God. I'm exhausted. Your place is so much nicer than where I stay. Mike tossed his jacket and leaned over her. As long as you like it, come whenever. My fingers trembled slightly. The video kept playing. Chloe stood up, grabbed my water cup, and took a sip. Your wife won't notice, right? Mike scoffed. She believes whatever I say. Don't worry. Can I use her makeup room? Go ahead. She won't be back anytime soon. My lungs felt like they stopped working. Then the footage glitched. Mike approached the bookshelf, reached for the camera, and the screen went black. He knew it was recording. That's why he turned it away. But he didn't know I had automatic backups. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just felt numb all over. The tattoo wasn't the real dagger. The real dagger was them walking into my home like they owned it. I closed the video and set my phone down. Then I noticed something on the coffee table, a small digital voice recorder. Not mine. Not Mike's. I pressed play. Chloe's voice came out. Don't worry. I'll make sure she leaves your life for good. Once I get pregnant, I slammed pause. My chest burned. My ribs felt like they were crushing inward. Still, forced myself to play it again. Chloe's voice continued. Smug and thrilled, Mike. Seriously, I think she's almost done for. She definitely doesn't know all the little things you've been doing. Mike's voice followed, lazy, annoyed, almost bored. I told you. She's unbelievably naive. She never checks where the money is. You asked me to take it. So I took it. I felt the blood drain from my face. Chloe giggled. You mean her secret savings? Yeah, she's been saving for years. But I spent most of it already. My fingers went numb. Chloe whispered, so, we can keep moving forward? Mike snorted. Of course. First make her think she's the problem. If she complains, I'll say she's being paranoid, needy, ungrateful. Once she feels guilty enough, she'll agree to anything. Chloe asked, what about the house? Almost there. She's been in bad shape lately. Soon I'll tell her we should upgrade to a bigger place. She'll definitely agree to sell the one under her name. Once the money hits my account, we can use it however we want. My legs nearly gave out. Chloe squealed happily. I knew you had a plan. Once I get pregnant, she won't be able to interfere anymore. Mike laughed darkly. Interfere? What right does she have? I felt something inside me crack open, slowly, painfully. Then Chloe asked, "Oh, and the tattoo thing, are you sure she won't suspect anything?" Mike replied casually. She drank the shop's soda. I added some sleeping drops. She passed out right away. Relax, she has no idea when she fell asleep. I slammed the stop button. The skin over my tattoo burned like hellfire. This wasn't just betrayal. It was calculation. It was conspiracy. A trap. 7 years of marriage, I thought I was holding on to love. Turns out, I was caught in a web they both spun. I sat on the couch, hugging myself, letting the truth seep in. No tears. Just a cold, calm clarity. Okay, Mike. If it's a game you want, I'll play. I uploaded the recordings to cloud storage, backed up the surveillance, covered the fresh tattoo. My movements were sharp, precise. I didn't cry. I didn't tremble. I just felt an urge to rip those 2 letters out of my chest. I put on a loose jacket, zipped it to my neck, and left. My steps were light. My heart felt heavy. The tattoo shop lights were still on. Inside was only one staff member, not Chloe. I walked in. The smell of disinfectant and ink stung my nose. My chest throbbed again. The young tattoo artist looked up and froze. You're the woman from earlier today, yes, I said. I want this tattoo removed. He looked at my chest, then at the hallway. Chloe and Mike stepped out. Are you sure you want to remove it now? It'll hurt. A lot. Good, I said calmly. The more it hurts, the better. He hesitated for a moment, then nodded. All right, come this way. When I lay down on the tattoo chair, the word joke burned on my skin. Cold and humiliating. Joke. I whispered it to myself, tasting the bitterness of it like I was finally spitting out the last piece of poison. The artist didn't comment. He simply turned on the laser machine. The moment the laser hit my skin, agonizing pain shot through my chest, like someone was carving fire into my bones. But I didn't make a sound. The artist looked startled. You can scream if you need to. You don't have to force yourself. I stared at the ceiling. I'm fine. Compared to the betrayal of a man I loved for 7 years, compared to having a slur tattooed on my chest while I was drugged, this pain was nothing. Laser after laser hit my skin. Then suddenly, stop. What are you doing? Shut it off. Mike's voice exploded from the doorway. The artist jumped and immediately powered down the machine. I sat up slowly. My chest was red, raw, pulsing in pain. But for the first time tonight, I smiled. A cold, steady smile. Mike, I said softly, you seem nervous. Mike stormed over, face pale and twisted with panic. You're insane. Do you know that laser removal can leave scars? Why would you do this to yourself? I lifted my eyes to him, calm, sharper than a blade. A scar on my body is still better than keeping the word you left me. He opened his mouth but couldn't speak. I continued, voice icy, you think this is about jealousy? About me being dramatic? I leaned forward. Mike, putting sleeping drugs in my drink isn't a misunderstanding. Stealing my money isn't a misunderstanding. Bringing your mistress into my home, into my bed, isn't a misunderstanding. Mike froze, like someone hit pause on him. The tattoo artist quietly stepped back, sensing something far bigger than a domestic fight. Mike's voice broke. Honey, listen, we can talk. I cut him off. Mike, if you try to stop me again, I'll give you more surprises than you can handle. His hands curled into fists. What are you planning? I zipped up my jacket, covering the throbbing skin on my chest. Divorce. My voice was soft, almost gentle. But not yet. His brows knitted in confusion. What do you mean? Not yet? I looked him straight in the eye, and for the first time tonight, he looked afraid of me. I'll leave you, I smiled. Slow and razor sharp. When it hurts you the most. I walked past him without another look. The night air hit my face, cold, almost slicing. Freedom had a taste. Bitter, sharp, but real. I had taken only 20 steps when I heard running behind me. Wait! Mike's voice again. Desperate. I didn't stop. He rushed in front of me and blocked my way, gripping my wrist. What do you want from me? You're scaring me. I jerked my hand back. Let go. He held tighter. No! You're not leaving like this. I gave him a cold, humorless smile. Mike, I can walk away whenever I want. No, you can't. That one sentence revealed everything, the entitlement, the control, the delusion. He gritted his teeth. You're acting crazy. You weren't like this before. You used to listen. You used to behave. I lifted my face and met his eyes. Because I used to think you were human. His expression cracked. His breath caught like he'd been punched. He tried to regain control, lowering his voice. We can talk. Calm down. If you divorce me now, it'll look bad. He inhaled shakily. Just cooperate, okay? I arched a brow. Oh, worried Chloe will hear the things you said about her? Or worried someone might find out you stole from me? His eyes widened, just a fraction. I smiled. Mike, I have recordings. His blood drained from his face. In an instant, he lunged for my bag. I stepped back. Stealing again? He lost it completely. You don't understand. That recording can ruin me. Do you know what you're doing? I stared at him with chilling calm. Ruin you? Your reputation? Your perfect image? Your company? Your relationship with Chloe? He clenched his jaw so hard his teeth might crack. Then he snapped. You're such a burden. God. How did I ever? I tilted my head. How did you ever marry me? His composure finally shattered. His voice exploding, loud enough for the street to hear. Yes. I shouldn't have married you. You have no connections. No family background. Barely make money. Have zero charm. No social value. 7 years of marriage and I got nothing from you. Those words should have hurt. Maybe a long time ago. They would have. But now, I felt nothing. Only relief. Amazing. I said quietly. That's how you see me. He faltered, panic flickering in his eyes. I didn't mean that. You're twisting my words. I was angry. Honey, please, let's just go home and talk. I stepped back. No, Mike. You're only scared I'll expose you. He froze. You're not scared of losing me. You're scared of losing control. He swallowed hard, like the truth burned going down. I spoke softly, like stating a fact. Don't worry. I won't divorce you yet. He stared, confused, hopeful, terrified. Why not? Because you haven't paid the price yet. The night wind lifted my hair, a strange, haunting freedom in the air. Starting tonight, the more miserable you are, I smiled, the happier I'll be. I turned around and walked away. Behind me, Mike yelled, Don't you walk away from me. Come back here. Come back. But I didn't stop. Because I finally knew, I was no longer the woman he could break. I had barely walked another block when headlights flared at the corner. A pair of unsteady high heels clicked sharply against the pavement. Chloe. She stumbled toward us, a takeout bag swinging in her hand. Still chewing something. She froze when she saw us. Mike's face instantly drained of color. Chloe? What are you doing here? Chloe pouted. You told me to come. You weren't answering your phone. So I took a cab. I raised an eyebrow, slowly turning to Mike. You invited her? His temple twitched violently. I didn't. Chloe. Stop lying. Chloe blinked innocently. You literally told me. She's probably home crying. Come wait for me at my place. Didn't you? Mike's face turned an ugly shade of green. I smiled. Oh, you two coordinate even when you're fighting. Cute. Chloe suddenly tensed, glaring at me. What tone is that supposed to be? What did Mike tell you? I tilted my head. He said. I paused, savoring the moment. Marrying me was the biggest mistake of his life. Chloe's eyes lit up. He really said that? Mike snapped. Chloe, enough. But Chloe wasn't the least bit deterred. She moved closer, almost elbowing Mike aside. Why are you scared? You already said it. She's so full of herself, honestly. You should have told her sooner, I cut her off coldly. Do you realize you're admitting the two of you have been plotting against me from the beginning? Chloe hesitated, only for half a second, then lifted her chin in arrogant defiance. So what if I am? Mike likes me more. He says I'm prettier, funnier, more exciting. She sneered. Men get bored of plain women like you. Mike panicked. Chloe. Stop, but Chloe continued, delighted to show off. You said she was like a glass of lukewarm tap water. Remember? No flavor. No personality. Boring in bed. Mike lunged to cover her mouth. Shut up. But it was too late. I watched the two of them fumble, flail, and expose themselves like a grotesque circus act. Quietly, I said, mind repeating that? I'll record it this time. Chloe froze, then exploded. You can't record us. I laughed softly. You tattooed a slur onto my chest. What exactly do you think I wouldn't dare? Mike turned white, grabbing Chloe. Stop talking. You don't know what she's capable of right now. Chloe yanked her arm free. Why are you scared of her? What can she possibly do? I stepped forward. Chloe instinctively stepped back. You want to know what I can do? I asked quietly. She crossed her arms, pretending to be brave. Go on. Do your worst. I leaned in slightly, my voice low. I'm going to make the two of you destroy your own love story, piece by piece. Mike's breath hitched. What does that mean? You'll find out soon. I turned and walked away. Behind me, Chloe shrieked hysterically, Mike, look at her. She's crazy. Get rid of her. Do something, Mike roared back. Shut up. They kept screaming, pulling each other apart like feral dogs. I walked calmly, even from far away. I could still hear their fight echoing down the street. Under the streetlights, Mike finally snapped. Can you stop talking for once? Do you know your stupid lukewarm water line almost got me killed? Chloe screeched. Why are you yelling at me? You said it first. Mike grabbed his hair in frustration. I said it in private. Do you understand what the word private means? Chloe shoved him. So I'm supposed to let you insult her secretly and never say anything? Mike rolled his eyes. Yes, that's literally what privacy is. Chloe gasped. So what, you think I'm stupid now? Mike barked a bitter laugh. I always knew you were stupid. The air cracked with tension. For a moment, Chloe just stared at him, hurt, shocked, betrayed. Then, slap. Her hand smacked across his face. What am I to you, Mike? A toy? A distraction? He staggered, stunned. Then he roared back, you were a fling, a distraction, a damn novelty. You really thought I'd marry you? I already regret marrying her. Why would I marry someone even worse? Slap. The second hit echoed even louder. You used me, Chloe screamed. I gave you everything. Mike spat back. And now you're useless. They clawed at each other under the street lamp. Vicious, ugly, unraveling. From a distance, I watched them tear each other apart. And for the first time, my chest felt lighter, liberated. Because the moment they turned on each other, I was no longer their prey. They were each other's punishment. I had barely stepped into my rental apartment building when the knocking started. Fast, desperate, frantic. Babe, it's me, Mike. I almost laughed. Faster than a delivery driver. I didn't open the door. I simply leaned against it and asked, what do you want? There was a pause, then Mike spoke in a voice I had rarely heard from him, soft, cautious, pretending to be gentle. Can we talk, please? Calmly, I closed my eyes. The same man who mocked me, protected another woman, and tattooed a slur on my skin, now suddenly wanted to talk calmly? The acting was embarrassing. I don't want to talk, I said flatly. Mike immediately shifted into pleading mode. Listen, Chloe was drunk earlier. All that stuff she said, those were just drunk ramblings. I drank a little too. I said things I didn't mean. I'm sorry. Okay? Drunk. The universal male excuse. So? My voice stayed cold. So I want to fix things, he said softly. I want to apologize. 7 years of marriage shouldn't fall apart because of one misunderstanding. I never wanted to hurt you. I almost laughed aloud. Misunderstanding? Of course. He rushed. What else could it be? He was trying to bait me, to get me to say I misunderstood. Then he could twist everything, deny everything, claim the recordings meant nothing. Men like Mike always follow the same script. He tried again, voice thick with fake tenderness. I'm worried about you. You were out so long, walking alone at night. Babe, I'm scared something might happen to you. Just open the door, okay? I swear I'll be gentle. I just want to talk. A chill crept down my spine. His tone, it was exactly the same tone he used the first time I caught him cheating. Soft apologies, gentle words, all shields to hide responsibility. He knocked again, voice tremoring. Baby, come on. We're married. Let me in. I smiled. All right. Silence outside the door. Then, you'll open the door? I'll open it, I said calmly. If you answer one question first. What question? I asked slowly. Clearly, are you here because you care about me, or because you're terrified of the recording? Everything outside the door went dead silent. He froze. Then, after too long, of course I care about you, I cut him off. Mike, I'm giving you 10 seconds to leave my door. If you knock again, I'm calling the police. And you know exactly what you're most afraid of if the police get involved. Silence. Deep. Heavy. Panicked. He had finally realized I wasn't the same woman he'd manipulated for 7 years. I was done. After a long moment, he whispered hoarsely, "You'll regret this." I didn't even hesitate. "I'll look forward to it." Click. I locked the deadbolt. His footsteps outside were frantic, uneven, angry, and I felt, finally, light. Because his panic meant one thing, he was losing control. And the thing Mike feared most in this world was me no longer being obedient. I stood behind the door a while longer, waited until his footsteps disappeared. Then I turned on the lights. The apartment glowed softly, warm, gentle, like a space untouched by his poison. For the first time, I realized there wasn't much from our marriage I actually needed. What I needed was already inside me. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app. My fingers moved quickly. Revoke authorization, change backup phone number, freeze risky features, transfer funds, move assets. Each tap felt steady, precise. I used to not care about money, not because I was generous, but because I trusted the wrong person. Now I cared. When I saw transaction successful, I exhaled long and slow. Then I opened the closet and pulled out an empty suitcase. The click of the latch echoed through the quiet room. I packed methodically, valuables, documents, irreplaceable personal memories. The rest? Let Mike clean it up. Let him live with the mess he created. Each item I placed into the suitcase took a piece of weight off my chest. Then, at the bottom of a drawer, I found a small old box. Inside were photos from the early days of our marriage. Fresh smiles, naive joy, innocence I barely recognized. The woman in the photo had believed in forever. I looked at her for a long moment. Then I put the photo back into the box, closed the lid, and dropped the entire thing into the trash. The thud was soft, final, liberating. Next, I sat down with a notebook. I began organizing 7 years of household expenses, copies of property documents, bank statements, marriage, financial records, not to use them against him, not yet, but to own the truth, to take back control. When I finished, I closed the notebook, looked around the apartment one last time, and I finally understood I wasn't running from this place. I was walking out of a cage. I rolled my suitcase to the door. Behind me, the light cast my shadow long and steady. I took a deep breath and left without looking back. I had left for less than 20 minutes, and already Mike's car screeched back into the apartment complex like he'd lost his mind. He called me non-stop. No answer. He texted repeatedly. I didn't reply. The entrance camera caught him practically sprinting to the door, eyes wild, breathing ragged. He shoved the door open. The living room was empty, quiet, dim. He froze. Just 1 second. Then he bolted toward the bedroom. The closet was open. My luggage was gone. He ripped open drawers, documents neatly rearranged and missing. He checked the bathroom, half of my toiletries gone. Panic clawed up his throat. She really left? His voice cracked into a whisper, then turned into a growl. You want to leave me? You actually dare? His breathing turned sharp, animalistic. He slammed the bathroom door so hard the whole apartment shook. Fine. You want to run? You think you can escape me? He grabbed his phone and called first, me. It rang, and rang. Voicemail. He cursed violently. Dialed again. Ignored. He hurled the phone at the couch. Then he called the second person, Chloe. She answered quickly, voice trembling. Mike, what's going on? Mike practically snarled into the receiver. She left. Do you hear me? She ran off. Chloe was silent a moment, then said, in the pettiest tone imaginable, and that's bad? Mike nearly lost it. Yes, it's bad. She has the recordings. If she exposes them, you and I are finished. Chloe sucked in a sharp breath. You want me to find her? I don't care how, just get her back. That recording can destroy both of us. His desperation finally scared her. So what are you gonna do? Mike's voice dropped into something dark and cold. I'm going to track her. Everywhere she goes. Every card she uses. Every move she makes. I'll drag her back if I have to. Chloe whispered, horrified. Mike, this is insane, he laughed, a low, humorless, terrifying laugh. I'm not insane. I'm taking back what's mine. He hung up, picked up his phone again, hands shaking, dialed a third number, a private investigator. I need you to track someone for me. Her location, transactions, travel records, everything. Fast. There was a question from the other end. Mike gritted his teeth. Yes. It's my wife. His voice dropped lower. She thinks she can fight me. She forgets, I never leave people room to resist. He ended the call. His counterattack had begun. But he didn't know, I had already slipped beyond the reach of his shadow. And this time, he could chase all he wanted. It wouldn't matter. He wouldn't catch me again. I dragged my suitcase down the hall, finally reaching my temporary rental. Just as I unlocked the door, a familiar voice behind me said, Need a hand? I turned. Liam. My quiet, polite neighbor from the old apartment building. We'd crossed paths in elevators, convenience stores, always a nod. Never a real conversation. Yet here he was. Moving this late? He asked calmly. Want me to help with the suitcase? For a moment, I hesitated. Then I nodded. Thanks. He lifted the suitcase easily and carried it inside, setting it down gently. I thanked him again. He just nodded lightly. Before leaving, he paused at the doorway. I'm right next door, he said. If you need anything. I blinked. You live here too? He dipped his head once, simple and quiet, then left. Footsteps soft. I had barely closed the door when a black car screeched up the street outside. My heart stopped. The door slammed open. Mike leaped out. He saw Liam walking away, and he lost his mind. His eyes filled with rage, jealousy, paranoia, humiliation all spiraling at once. He stormed toward me. You're living with another man? You just left the house and you're already moving in with someone else? I stared at him, stunned at the level of delusion. He's a neighbor. He helped me carry a suitcase. A suitcase? Mike roared. I saw you two walk in together. I saw you smile at him. You think I'm stupid? Were you screwing him this whole time? My laugh was sharp, cold. You're jealous? Or just guilty? He froze for a second, like I had slapped him. I'm your husband. You cheating on me is betrayal. I stepped forward, calm, dead calm. Mike. I filed for divorce. He went still. The world around us seemed to freeze. What did you say? I repeated slowly, our marriage ends here. His face contorted, rage, denial, panic twisting into something feral. Then he lunged, but before he could reach me, another voice cut through the hallway like ice. She said she doesn't want to talk to you. We both turned. It was Liam. He had come back. Mike exploded. Who the hell are you? This is my wife. Liam didn't blink. Ex-wife. Mike turned purple. I'd never seen him look so utterly defeated yet enraged. Mike stepped toward me, practically shaking with rage. You really want to divorce me? You really think you can walk away? Do you have any idea what I can? Liam moved first. Just one step. but it was enough to block Mike's path completely. "Back up," Liam said quietly. It wasn't loud, it wasn't threatening, but it was the kind of voice that made even rage freeze. Mike's nostrils flared. "You calling the shots now? Who the hell do you think? I've already called the cops," Liam said calmly. Mike blinked. "What?" In a public hallway, grabbing someone, screaming at them, trying to break into their place, counts as harassment. Sometimes assault. Mike went pale, and right on cue, from the street came the distant but unmistakable sound of a patrol car. Chirp, chirp. He stiffened. His rage cracked, fear leaking through the seams. Because he knew, once the police got involved, his image, his job, his reputation, all of it would bleed out in public. He backed away slightly. His voice dropped to a hoarse whisper. "You dare bring the police into this?" I stepped forward. "I didn't bring them. You did." Mike's breathing was unstable, half fury, half panic. "Do you have any idea what you're doing to me?" "Yes," I said simply. He looked at me like I had stabbed him. "You're going to ruin me." "No." My voice was calm. "You ruined yourself." He tried to steady himself, tried to find leverage. "You won't last without me. You're nothing without me." I smiled softly. "That's what you're afraid of, isn't it? That I'll realize I'm better off without you." He shook his head, almost violently, like he couldn't accept that reality. "You can't leave me. You can't." The patrol car pulled up in front of the building. Mike flinched visibly. I looked him dead in the eye. "Watch me." Two officers stepped into the hallway. "Sir, we received a disturbance call," Mike snapped. "She's my wife." The officer glanced at me. "Ma'am, do you want him to leave?" "Yes." I didn't hesitate. The officer turned to Mike. "Sir, you need to step outside and answer a few questions." Mike looked like he wanted to argue, but the officer's hand hovered near his holster. Mike deflated. He gave me one last look, full of hatred, panic, and disbelief. "I swear, you'll regret this." I didn't flinch. I already regretted staying. The officers escorted him out of the building. I watched from the doorway as he was questioned near the patrol car. For the first time, I saw him without power, without ego, without control. Just a man losing everything he thought he owned. Liam turned to me. "You okay?" I exhaled slowly. "I'm good." And for the first time in years, it was the truth. I was free. Mike was taken in for questioning that night. He wasn't arrested. Not yet, but the incident, the screaming, Chloe's involvement, none of it could be swept away quietly. By morning, the news had already reached his company. Rumors spread like wildfire. Mike got into a public domestic dispute last night. He might be involved in financial misconduct. He was dragged into a cheating scandal. It didn't take long for someone to share clips from the police station entrance, Mike screaming, Chloe crying, the two of them clawing at each other and shouting all their secrets. By noon, an announcement was made, due to personal matters and recent negative incidents. Mike will be temporarily suspended from duty. Temporarily suspended was corporate language for he's done. A former coworker messaged me privately, "You didn't hear this from me." But the board threw him under the bus immediately. No one wants a scandal linked to financial exploitation of a spouse. This is poison for the company. I didn't respond. Because I didn't feel triumph, or revenge, or even satisfaction. Just peace. A quiet I hadn't known in years. At 1:18 p.m., Mike finally texted me. One sentence. "You win. Happy now?" I looked at it for a moment. Then I put the phone down. He never understood. I wasn't trying to win. He lost all on his own. By evening, another message arrived. "Please, just meet me once." There it was, what desperation looked like on a screen. This man who once believed I'd never leave him, who believed he controlled me, who believed I wouldn't dare, now begged for one meeting. I didn't reply. Because the truth was simple, I didn't need to see the end of him. The end had already happened. Mike's downfall wasn't my victory. It was simply karma finally arriving right on time. Mike asked to meet at the cafe we used to go to, the one where we once talked about dreams, vacations, our future, a future I now realized he never actually intended to build with me. The sunlight from the large windows was warm. Soft, almost mocking. I arrived 5 minutes early. Mike was already there. Earlier than me, something he never once did in 7 years of marriage. He sat in the corner booth, hands clasped tightly together, like someone awaiting a sentence. When he saw me, his eyes widened with hope, fear, desperation all tangled together. "You came," he whispered. I sat down calmly. "You asked." "I'm here." He swallowed hard. "Look. I know everything's a mess right now, but we can fix it. I promise I'll do better. We can start over. I can cut Chloe off. I can fix the company situation. Just give me one more chance." He reached toward me. I pulled my hand back. His fingers froze in the air. I opened my bag and placed a folder on the table. A simple folder, but his face turned to ash the moment he saw it. "What is that?" "Divorce papers." He stared at the folder like it might explode. "You're joking." "I'm not." He shook his head slowly, disbelief cracking his expression. "No, you wouldn't. You can't just throw away 7 years. You love me. You always have." I met his eyes and said the truth he never believed I could say. "That was before you showed me who you really are." He swallowed, voice breaking. "I can change, no," I said softly. "You won't." He looked like I had stabbed him. The truth was finally louder than his fantasies, and for the first time in our entire marriage, he realized I was beyond his control. His voice dropped to a whisper. "You're really going to do this to me?" I leaned back, calm, steady. "I'm not doing anything to you. I'm finally doing something for myself." His eyes reddened. "I only have you left," he said, voice trembling. "You can't leave. I need you." I inhaled slowly. "Mike, you never needed me. You needed control." He froze. "And now that you don't have it, you're panicking." He pressed a hand to his forehead, shaking. "I can't lose you." "I can't." I stood up. The sunlight cast my shadow across the table, long, clear, unburdened. "Sign the papers," I said quietly. "The sooner you do, the sooner I walk out of your life for good." His face twisted, pain, anger, helplessness all collapsing together. He reached out again, but his hand only touched air. "Please," he whispered. "Don't go." I looked at him one last time. "Mike, you don't get to beg now. Not after everything you did." I picked up my bag, turned around, walked away. As I pushed open the cafe door, warm air rushed in from outside. For a moment, it felt like stepping out of a long, dark tunnel. Behind me, I heard his chair scrape, like he was about to chase me. But he didn't. He knew chasing me wouldn't work anymore. I walked out into the sunlight. For the first time in so many years, my heart felt weightless. Not victorious. Not vengeful, simply free. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need his regret. I didn't need to watch him fall any further. Because the truth was, I'd already walked out of the darkness he built. And every step I took from here on was toward the life I would finally build for myself. My new beginning. My clean slate. My freedom. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any thoughts about this story, feel free to share them in the comments section. Here is Roses and Love, sharing stories about marriage and women every day. See you tomorrow.